Hey everyone, welcome to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that literally almost every single one of us deals with, but honestly, very few of us actually understand. We're talking about the science of why we put things off and, more importantly, how to actually stop doing it. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're just staring at an open laptop, you know you have a huge deadline looming, and yet somehow you find yourself, deep cleaning the microwave or alphabetizing your bookshelf just to avoid sending one single email. Well, let's unpack exactly what's happening in our minds when we dodge our most important work and how we can finally take back control.
So, I've got a really direct question for you, and I need you to be completely honest here. Are you procrastinating right now? Seriously, is watching this explainer just a sneaky way for you to put off something else you really should be doing? Hey, if you just felt a little twinge of guilt, don't worry, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to take that feeling, agitate it just a little bit, and use it as pure fuel. By the time we wrap up today, you'll have a specific, science-backed toolkit to conquer that exact task you're avoiding.
For decades, society has been feeding us this deeply held myth. We've been told our whole lives that putting things off means we're just lazy, or undisciplined, or maybe we just lack willpower. Well, we need to completely shatter that idea right now. Procrastination is almost never about laziness. Actually, it's an emotional regulation problem. This is absolutely crucial to understand. It's not a character flaw. It's a biological reality. You aren't failing at time management. Your brain is just struggling to manage the really complex emotions that a specific task is bringing up.
Let's look at exactly what's going on inside that head of yours. Procrastination, at its core, is simply your brain's attempt to escape the negative feelings associated with a task. Think about it. When you're staring down a project that causes anxiety, or fear of failure, or just a massive sense of overwhelm, your brain flags those feelings as a literal threat. And what does the human brain do when it faces a threat? It runs. It tries to protect you by seeking safety in things that feel good or easy. Your brain is literally just trying to protect itself from those uncomfortable feelings. Pretty wild, right?
All right, so how do we fix this? Let's get into strategy 1, break the starting barrier. Now that we know we aren't fighting laziness, but actually just a misplaced defense mechanism, how do we outsmart it? Well, crossing the starting line is always the hardest part. The anticipation of the work is basically always worse than the work itself. To get over that hurdle, we're going to use the 5-second rule. Here's exactly how it works. Step 1, the very second you feel yourself hesitating, that tiny flash of dread, catch it. Step 2, count backward, out loud or in your head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step 3, move immediately. You literally have to start working right then and there before your brain has a chance to manufacture an excuse. You're basically short-circuiting your mind's ability to talk you out of it.
And it all starts with the number 5. That simple 5-second countdown does something truly magical. It completely shifts your focus away from the emotional dread and right into the logical action of counting. And once you cross that starting line, boom, momentum takes over. Actually doing the work becomes exponentially easier because you're already in motion. Remember, action creates momentum, and momentum absolutely crushes procrastination.
Moving right along to strategy 2, shrink the threat.
Remember how we just said the brain views negative emotions as a threat? Well, when you look at a massive project, say writing a whole ebook or launching a brand new app, your brain sees the sheer scale of that as a gigantic, unmanageable monster, so it flees straight toward procrastination. We have to change how the brain perceives the work. How? By micro-stepping tasks. When you tell yourself, I need to work on my book today, your brain goes into full panic mode. Instead, shrink it down. Make it, I will open a blank document and write just one single sentence. Or, I'm just going to type for 5 minutes. You take that giant goal and break it down into the absolute smallest possible action. Make it so incredibly tiny that your brain can't even argue against it. And you know what? More often than not, once you write that one sentence, you end up typing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour, because the thread is totally gone.
Okay, up next is strategy 3, defeating the perfectionism trap.
Look, we cannot talk about procrastination without calling out one of its biggest enablers. For so many of us high achievers, the desperate need to make absolutely everything perfect on the very first try is a massive roadblock. It's a paralyzing fear. That underlying anxiety that your work won't be flawless right out of the gate is exactly what stops you from even starting. To break free from that trap, you've got to adopt a new mindset, captured perfectly right here. Done is better than perfect. You have to consciously give yourself permission to write a terrible first draft. Let it be messy. Let it be completely flawed. Why? Because you can always edit, refine, and polish bad work, but you absolutely cannot edit a blank page. Getting it done is literally the only way to eventually make it perfect.
Which brings us to strategy 4, hack your reward system.
This next one deals directly with how our brains process pleasure. The human brain naturally loves the path of least resistance. It deeply, intensely craves instant gratification. That is exactly why mindlessly scrolling through social media feels so amazing in the moment. It's just a free hit of dopamine without any effort. But rather than fighting this biological urge, we can actually hijack our own internal reward system to boost our drive. It's a clever little trick called temptation bundling. Basically, you pair a task you've been avoiding with the rewards you really crave. You tell yourself, okay, I get to listen to my favorite podcast, but only while I'm folding this laundry. Or, after I focus strictly on this nightmare project for 30 minutes, I earn my favorite premium coffee, or 10 minutes of totally guilt-free downtime. You're literally linking the hard work to the instant gratification your brain is begging for.
But let's be real, rewards alone aren't always enough if distraction is just a tap away. You have to increase the friction. If your phone is sitting right next to your keyboard, I guarantee you're going to pick it up the very second you hit a mental block. It's just human nature. So make your distractions annoying to access. Put your phone in another room, actually power it completely off. Use website blockers to physically lock yourself out of those distracting apps during your focus time. If it takes genuine effort to get distracted, you're way more likely to just shrug and stay on task.
All right, here we go. Strategy 5, your 5-minute challenge.
We've covered the science, we've dug into the psychology, and we've got the strategies. Now, it is time to actually put this into practice. I'm issuing you a quick action challenge right here, right now, just to prove to you that this methodology works immediately. No more watching, no more waiting around, no more delaying. It is time to execute. First, I need you to mentally identify the target. Pick the number one task you have been putting off all week long. Come on, you know the one. That thing hovering over your head, giving you that low-level anxiety. Got it in your mind? Good.
Now remember our rule, we're going to shrink the threat and break the starting barrier at the exact same time. In just a moment, you are going to close this explainer, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to give that specific task exactly 5 minutes of your time. Just 5 minutes. That's the whole shebang. Your brain literally cannot argue that 5 minutes is overwhelming.
So the only question left for you today is this: where will 5 minutes take you? Once you cross that starting line and the momentum finally kicks in, you might just find that the whole wall of anxiety crumbles and you finally get it done. Don't wait. Count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Start right now.